I believe the first board game I've ever played was Scrabble, more than 10 years ago at best. First video game I've played was probably Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Genesis. I believe that was like a year or so more after that.
As long as I can remember, I mean, everyone starts out with board games, but first game system was an N64 when it first came out, and still have it today.
Electronic games, I've been playing for about 12 years. Non-electronic games, ever since I was 5.
For about as long as I can remember. You know, when you're kids, you have those games like tag and hide and seek that you play with your family and friends, you know? It's how people get into them, I think.
Oh man, since I was about, say 5.
Since I was probably 5, whenever the first Nintendo came out.
Since in the womb.
I've been playing video games, so to say, for about basically all my life. I first picked up an NES controller when I was pretty young. That was a big experience because I was like, oh, look at the colors, and that was a pretty big experience for me. That's basically how I wanted to get into games.
Well, for board games, I like the aspect of interaction with other people in terms of like maybe competition. Sports can be viewed as the same way. As for video games, I guess the way it stands out amongst other things, the appeal most of the time. Back when I was introduced to video games.
Just being able to get out of real life, you know, the immersion of the game helping you get away from real life problems. Yeah, you deal with video game problems, but hey, you get to restart and retry video game problems if you mess up.
My top 3 things are 1, zombies, 2, the interactions between the player and the game, and 3, playing with your friends. It's always fun.
I like it because it relieves some of the stress that I have at work or at school. And I just play it just to have fun.
They're fun and they're exciting, and they give me stuff to do when I'm not doing homework.
Something to do when there's nothing to do most of the time. Video games, it's a way to escape the reality of everything for a while. Get to go do some awesome things, go kill on some people, beat up people, solve puzzles, you know, keep brain working.
What I like about games in general is they have usually tactics or some type of strategy to get around or to them, you know. Not all the games are the same. Like for instance, you have Mega Man X here. This is a 2D side scroller, so basically what you have to do is basically play yourself around the situations that you're getting thrown at. It's not like Street Fighter where it's basically you're going against a friend or the computer and you have to fight and you have a life gauge.
These days, it's usually twice a week or so. Other times I'm just doing homework, so.
Every chance I get. If I'm not doing homework or sleeping, I'm playing a game of some sort in my mind or with someone else. I've always played Monopoly. Started playing when I was 7 and I still play it to this day. I have a championship in it. It's pretty cool.
Usually play to unwind whenever I have a chance to get away from homework or in between like cooking meals or something. Just whenever I have downtime, I like to just sit down and play a game for a while.
Like every night if I can and don't have homework.
I play about 2-3 hours a day. Not like those average gamers where they play 8 hours like it's their career.
I play a lot of games fairly often. Usually, right now, I've recently picked up Assassin's Creed 3, and that is one of my favorite series as well. And I've been playing that constantly. I've been trying to 100 sync that.
One all-nighter. It was Uncharted 2 and another all-nighter when I was playing Uncharted 3. But then after that, it's like, yeah.
12 hours was Black Ops Zombies on the moon map. Trying to get the achievement and it took forever.
Me and my friend recently played all the Halo games when Halo 4 came out. Just get the storyline all in one chronological order, and that took us 18 hours.
The longest I played indie video game straight without stopping would be about 2 days.
For like 3-4 hours, maybe a whole day once.
Till 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun goes up. Hours and hours.
4 days is spree. Me and my friends decided we're gonna do a whole a series of games, Mega Man X 1 through 7, and then Mega Man 1 through 10.
Yes and no. And when I mean no, I mean I don't let it control my life. Like, I don't let it eat up my time. As for influencing my life, I believe so, yes. Other than drawing and playing games, I also like to read every once in a while. And much of these days, I see video games, especially story-oriented games, as sort of another medium. The way morals would be told in such stories, I believe I let it incorporate with myself. So in many ways, yes, I believe.
I get to play with my friend who had to move away, so that's always nice, getting to still talk to him at least, you know. Play a little bit of Call of Duty every now and again.
I guess it would make me a little more outgoing to be with people, to get their input on my ideas, be more accepting of other people's criticism and not take it too harshly.
It affects it in a positive way. I mean, it's fun. Gets, like I said, a lot of stress out because I scream at the TV. I don't know. My husband and I play together, so.
Gaming in itself, it has some positive and some negative influences in my life. Positively, it actually, now I understand games for what they are. I believe they're like a new piece of art that's being released, and how our world is actually seeing it now. A lot of things that we see on movies now, there are a lot of CG stuff. Well, that CG stuff is also in video games, and they do a lot of the studios do a beautiful job of actually making these things. A negative thing is that not a lot of people actually accept this as it becoming real. My father, he's not really game oriented or movie oriented, as in with the new CG stuff that's coming out. So I'm actually trying to slowly pull him towards it. No, look at this, you know. I'm trying to actually make him see what I see now.
That we're all shut-ins. Most of us are really outgoing, actually.
That they'd never leave their house. They're sitting in their chairs in their pajamas, eating pizza and drinking Mountain Dew. They never leave the house, you know. The type of person that drops out of school, doesn't have a job, and lives in the basement.
That they're all guys, and the fact that they're all like 40-year-olds who live in their mother's basement, and that they're creepy.
That they're all losers sitting at home, doing nothing but playing games. I know that's a big misconception.
They call us lazy, and that we don't really do anything else. I think that's a lie. There's a lot of gamers out there that I know that do more than just actually game. They have lives and they have stuff to do, such as snowboard or ATV. But in times, a lot of gamers are like, oh, let's get our friends together and let's get this entire gaming party going on. That's fun.
I've gone to one of the GameStop, I don't know, where they have tournaments. That's pretty interesting. Never played in one myself though.
I'm part of the game development club. It's a bunch of game art students who get together every week and play board games with one of the teachers here. He brings in his board games, we play them, we analyze them, what makes them good, what makes them bad, what could be done to improve. We study the game mechanics, the game rules, and next quarter we're going to be getting in groups and developing games, bouncing ideas around to make a game to possibly pitch to an actual company like Blizzard or something.
I'm trying to participate in the game art and the game design club that we have going on. I'm probably going to be more involved in it next quarter.
Not too much other than, funding. I buy the games, I play the games, paying for monthly Xbox Live. I do participate in clubs here at the school for the video games. The one club at the school that I go to is the Video Game Development Club. Basically, it's mostly game art students who are, building their games. I believe there's a class here that you actually have to make a game for. So I guess it's kind of building off of that, helping them make bigger, better games, and just giving them a chance to see other games that are in the market.
I'm the vice president for the game development club. We were interested in developing a club that involved making games and researching games. It was during our time when we were in game design and gameplay class, and we wanted to have more students in the game development to have more exposure to not just console games, but also more on analog games, mostly tabletop games, deck building games, board games. Our idea was that we wanted to have them look more into what games do what rules there are, and we would have them try to make their own games based on what they've learned from what they've played with.
My involvement in the gaming community right now is I recently just started a club here at school just to get more knowledge and more resources to actually know what I want to do in my career. And that is why I actually started the club. So other students as well, they can join me and I can help them and we can help each other. We just started this past quarter, so we haven't been around for too long, but as we've seen in this past quarter, we've grown to a larger size of a club. We play games and we study the tactics and the strategies behind them. This is essential, especially for our field, because we need to know if the tactics work, we need to know if the tactics are fun. Otherwise, we have to go back and we have to see, oh, okay, this didn't work, so we have to fix this. And how we fix it is usually what kind of game is being tested for. Any game in general, like for instance right now we do a lot of card game and a lot of board game, because a lot of board game and card games, they transfer over to video games. Because the tactic itself, like say you have Magic, right? Those cards in themselves, they usually, you need like power-ups and a lot of like, say you have a monster out on the field and you need it to be another monster on the field. Well, technically, if you look at other games, such as video games, let's look at Castlevania for a moment. Say you need a certain item to progress in the game, like a sword or a whip upgrade. Those in themselves, they're like, oh, now the game changes a little bit. And each player, the computer itself has to say, okay, now he has this, now we have to change the monsters and how the player encounters them. We're actually right now in development of actually making a tournament for the school. It's going to be a Ultimate Gamers tournament where students can come in and they can actually play different games, and the last game is a secret round where the two competing players now have to face each other in a wild card game. It can be anything from a board game or to a classic game or from an actual video game that they're playing now, you know? Well, the first question that they should ask themselves is, do I want to join this club? This is a place where you're going to meet everybody, where you're going to work with. And the sooner you get your contacts established, the better it is for you guys to actually work together when you're working on a big project or when you're actually working in the industry. So what I wanted to establish when making this club was like, present yourself and, you know, you can get friends. Easy. That's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to feel comfortable, come, play some games, study them actually, look at them deeper than you actually need to, because that's why we're here. You can find our club through Student Affairs. We're there, and we have a lot of flyers around school. So that in itself tells them where we meet and where we can actually, you know, what events are going on. Just come to the club, expect us at our events that we're going to have very soon. Next quarter is our first event, which is a game tournament, Ultimate Gamer Challenge. We want to see you there, and we hopefully get more students into this club so they know what to expect from us.